UK band Daughter has returned for their third full-length album, Stereo Mind Game. This is Daughter's first album in 7 years. 6 if you're including the soundtrack to the video game Life is Strange. However, I first heard of Daughter when they covered the song Poke by Frightened Rabbit off their 10th anniversary for the album Midnight Organ Fight, which was released in 2019. Midnight Organ Fight remains one of my favorite albums of all time, so I highly recommend you check it out. After hearing Daughter cover that song, I did go back to listen to some of their previous albums, and I wasn't blown away by them. In fact, I kind of forgot about them until I started hearing a few of the singles off their upcoming album. The album is much more polished than their previous works, and the sound on this thing is wonderful, especially when compared to the kind of lo-fi vibes off their previous albums. On Stereo Mind Game, lead singer Elena Tonra's voice is in the front of the mix where it should be. After a brief intro, we get the opening song, Be On Your Way. The song is about drifting apart from someone, but there is also a hopeful edge to the song, since she speculates that they might meet again sometime. The song feels very cinematic, with these driving synths and strings that hang in the background. The guitars are also super drenched in reverb, giving the song a kind of nostalgic vibe to it, which really matches the emotion of the lyrics. We then get the incredible song, Party. Party is probably one of my favorite songs of the year so far. The song primarily consists of this picked bass and this very simple drum beat, with Elena just gliding over top. The song is about becoming sober, specifically about the last time Elena had alcohol. Although the music has this optimistic swell to it, the lyrics see Elena realizing how the drinking might remove her best memories, and how that loss is almost becoming unbearable. However, the struggle to stop is difficult, as she describes it as a stereo mind game. It is such a beautiful song about the internal struggles over substance abuse. Dandelion is another similarly decent song, although it doesn't reach the heights of the previous 2 tracks. The song seems to be about the struggles with connecting with someone, although I feel Elena's delivery here is less engaging than some of the other songs on the album. We then get the track Neptune, which is a much more stripped down song, which contains simply an acoustic guitar for the first half. It is about being stuck in your own head, and there is a nice build-up with her friends singing on the track, as if she's not alone. I do feel, though, that the song kind of drags a bit. I almost wish the build-up had a more explosive moment to it, but like most of the songs here, it just ends up washed out in reverb. The track Swim Back is incredible. It is this driving shoegaze song with a lot of sounds surrounding you in stereo. The lyrics themselves feel related to the first song in that she's trying to close the distance and get back to her love. But it also has this kind of sci-fi vibe to it, as if she's trying to create a wormhole or something, and with the wave of noise, it feels very space-like. Junk mail is an interesting idea for a song that I just don't feel lands quite right. The song consists primarily of this drum loop, with Elena listing portions of words that she found within her junk mail folder. These kind of list songs can work out well. Love It If We Made It by 1975 is a great example of it working well, but junk mail feels soulless to me. Musically, there is just these reverberating strings and picked guitar. The song just basically marches forward until it's done, and doesn't really build to anything. The song Future Lover has this gross, crunchy, distorted sample over these washed out reverbed guitars and also these produced drum tracks, and it sounds actually really cool. This song is about longing for someone, and it's kind of playful as well with this killer bass line. We then get this weird interlude track called Missed Calls. It mostly consists of voice messages from Elena's friends and family that now live farther away. It has this really experimental vibe to it that doesn't match the rest of the album, and I think it would have been a neat idea, but like in the context of this album specifically, it just sort of stands out as weird and isn't really connected to the whole. Especially since it comes near the end of the album, so it feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere. Isolation is a beautiful acoustic song about learning lessons when relationships end. It is short and sweet and gets right to the point. It also has these sparkling synths throughout, which add to the feeling of dissolution. To Rage is about being angry with a partner who is not fighting for the relationship. I think the lyrics are wonderful and poetic, but the song to me just doesn't match the energy of the lyrics. It is a much more subdued song with just a ton of reverb, which doesn't feel intense the way the lyrics do. The album closer, Wish I Could Cross the Sea, the music again is cinematic here, and lyrically the theme of longing and distance is back, but not much is resolved by the end of the album. This lack of resolution can work sometimes if properly executed, but on this album I'm left wanting something more. This album was a bit all over the place, but it is well produced and sounds great. It also contains some of my favorite songs of the year so far, even though I wasn't blown away by the entire thing. I still think it's worth checking out, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I give this album a 7 out of 10. Let me know if you like this album. Let me know if you didn't like this album. Let me know anything. You know, you can leave a comment and be like, "You're out of line, bucko," and I'll be like, no, you're out of line, and it'll be fun, right?